Ois base. So he continues now with the Maimer. Umamshich b'hamaimer. So the Maimer continues the meaning of the Yehoy Noson. So the word Yehoy Noson actually has Yud Kei Vov. In some Maimorim, it teaches Yud Kei Vov Nosan. That what he gave, that Yehoiason gave to David the level of Malchus. So Yud Kei Vov is in the name of Nosan, and he gave to David, which is the Hey, because he's Malchus, is Yud Kei Vov Kei. However, the Rebbe brings down that in Ma'ir actually the entire Shem Havaya is hinted in the name Yehoinos. You have the Yud Kei Vov and Nosan, which equals 500. Nosan, Tov is 400, and Nun is 100, is 500. 500 is really the Hey, Yud Kei Vov Kei, because a Hey can also be, a 5 can also be 500. Let's look inside. The is so we find the Me'ira when he explains the name Yehoinosam. He says Shenosan begematria tovkuf. Nosan is the gematria. The numerical value is 500. Who hey achroino the shem havaya. That's the last hey of the name of Havaya, the Yud Kei Vov Kei. That's the hey, the last hey of the Shem Havaya. How do we get hey to 500? So he says, Ki hey behako bigimatria tovkuf. I'm not so familiar, but I think behako, when you bang the hey, meaning you can have 5, but you can have hey 500, because when you bang it, expand the 5, it becomes 500. Nevertheless, that's what it says in the Ma'ir, that Yehoinosson has Yud Kei Vav, and Nosson is Yud Kei Vav Kei. So Medayik Maimer. So the Maimer asks like this. According to the regular pshat, like we understand that Yud Kei Vav Nossan, we understand that Yehoinosson gave Yud Kei Vav to David, which is the Keachroina. But now that we're saying that Yehoinosson himself has the last hey, Nossan is last hey, so what did he have to give to David? Why did Yud Kei Vav? He has the hey itself. What's happening here? So let's look. So the Maimer points out that according to the interpretation of most places, Yehoinosson hu Yud Kei Vov, that Yehoinosson is really the 3 letters of the Shem Havai, Yud Kei Vov. The Nosan Shebe Yehoinosson. And what is the Nosan Yehoinosson? Who, that means Yud Kei Vov, that Yehoinosson has Heim Bebechinas Nesina V'Hamshocha. They're in a level of giving and extending the Yud Kei Vav. That is Yud Kei Vav Nosan. So move on. So then, according to the other pshat, the way we usually understand it, then we understand what the pasuk says, Vayomer lo Yehoinosson. So what did Yehoinosson say to David? Hamshocha. What did Yomer lo? Hamshocha mi Yehoinosson le David. That is extending from Yehoinosson to David. Yud Kei Vov Yehoinosson, the Yud Kei Vov of the name Yehoinosson, Nimshachu leMalchus Nosan were extended to Malchus, David. But according to the interpretation of Eir, the Nosan should be Yehoy Nosan, who Keyachreino, that Nosan in the name Yehoy Nosan is the last K. It's already Yud K Vav K. He Malchus. The last K is Malchus. So Yehoy Nosan represents all the whole Atzilus. The Yud, that's the Chochma, K is Bina, the Vav is the Svirus, and also Nosan, which is Malchus. So Mahu Inyan Vayomer Loi Yehoy Nosan. So what is he told him, meaning he gives him something? Hamshachas Yehoy Nosan LeDavid. So what is he giving? What is the idea giving Nosan LeDavid? Hare Nosan, the Yehoy Nosan VeDavid. The Nosan of Yehoy Nosan and David seems the same thing. Why is he giving him Malchus when David is already Malchus? So why is you give of Nosan if Nosan is the shame, the hay? So why does he have to give it to David? Or what is he giving David? It's the same that he has himself. It's nothing. It's not. He also has Malchus. The Rebbe will explain there is two levels of Malchus. There is Malchus the way it's in Atzilus, and the way there is Malchus the way is Nimshach into Biyah, into Bri Yitzirasiyah. So while Yehoynoson was the level of the K, Achreina, the last Hey, Malchus, as it is in Atzilus, he was Mamshich to the level of David, which is the Hamshocha from Atzilus to Biyah. Umevayah. So he explains in the Maimer. The b'malchus shtei madreges. In Malchus you have two steps. K'moi shehi soif ha'atzilus. There is the way Malchus is the end of Atzilus, which is zonov la'arayis. Say like they should be can either be a tail for the lions or the head of the foxen. So the tail of the Arayis means Arayis, the lions, the strong ones, that's Atzilus. On one hand, one level is a tail, meaning the lowest part in the lions, which means in Atzilus, the lowest level of Atzilus would be the tail, but it's a tail of a lion, which means it's a tail in Atzilus, is the lowest level of Atzilus. That is Malchus the way it's in Atzilus. And then is Kumoishi Moker Libya. Then we have Malchus as it becomes a source for Bri Yitzirasiyah. Now Bri Yitzirasiyah is a Roish L'Shuolim. Bri Yitzirasiyah is like foxen, it's not lions, it's a much lower Madrega. But over there, Malchus is the head of the Shuolim. It's the head of the fox, which means it's the highest level of Biyah and it's Mamshech to Biyah. So these are the two parts in Malchus. And this is the difference between Malchus, the way it's in Yehoy Nosan, and Malchus in David. Bezehu hachilik bein Nosan de Yehoy Nosan. The Nosan, the Malchus, which is 500, which is the level of the Keachreina Malchus de Yehoy Nosan, le David, that's the difference between David. The Nosan shu Keachreina de Shem Havai Kenal, Nosan, which is the last hay of the name of Aya, who ha-malchus k'moi shehi soif ha-atzilus. That is Malchus as it's in the end of Atzilus. V'David who ha-malchus k'moi shemok l'biyah. And David is Malchus, but it's like Malchus, like it's a source of Biyah. So what does it mean that Malchus gives to Malchus, that we're giving from the level of Malchus, the Atzilus, from the Reish L'Shuolim to Malchus, the Biyah, to the Malchus, which comes down to Biyah, which is the Reish L'Shuolim. V'inyan, V'yomer lo Yehoy Nosan hu. So what is the idea of Yomer lo Nosan? Hamshochas HaMalchus k'moishi hi ba'atzilus. To extend the Malchus as it is in Atzilus, Nosan, which is Keachreino, take that level of Malchus So he's giving the hay, but once he gives the hay, he also brings along the Yud Kei Vav. Yud Kei Vav. To bring from the hay of Atzilus, from Malchus the Atzilus to the Malchus that gives to a mocker to Biyah, which is David. That is what Yehonasan gives from his level of Malchus, which includes the Yud Kei Vav to David, which is a mocker to Biyah. That's how we explain, according to the Eier, that says that Yehonasan himself has also the level of the hay, so he's giving the level of hay of Atzilus to the hay of David, which is the Moker Rabia. Shebo nimshachim hasviras dezo shelamayla ma'amalchus. No. Umaysi ba'maimer, so the Maimer adds, the shtei habechinas shebemalchus nikroyim b'shem yam ve'eretz. These two levels in Malchus are called Yam, the sea, and the land. Yam hu hamalchus k'moshe hu ba'atzilus. Yam is Malchus as it is in Atzilus. Shebo, why do we call it the Yam? The Yam, you have all the rivers go to the Yam, and everything in the Yam is covered. Basically, all the Amshachas Elyonis that come from the spheres of Atzilus come into Malchus, and they're covered by Malchus. So he says, Yam hu hamalchus, k'moishi b'Atzilus, as in Atzilus. Shabonim shochim hasviris dezo shalomaylam malchus. In Malchus, extend the spheres of Zoh, which is higher than Malchus. They kol hanecholim holchim el hayom. All the rivers go to the ocean, to the Yam, meaning all the spheres, all the Hamshachas come to Yam, come to Malchus. Then v'ayidei shahamalchus mekabeles v'kineses b'toicho es haspheres shalomaylo mimeno. Through Malchus receiving and bringing inside her the spheres that are higher from her, himalemes aleim, it obscures them. Kedugmas hayam shumechasa mashe b'toicho, similar to the Yam, which covers on what's in it. Al yidei zeh nimsheches hamalchus liyos moker lahavis hanivroim. So through the fact that it receives everything, it covers up all the hamshachas in Malchus, then through this Malchus extends to become a moker lahavis hanivroim, a source to create the nivroim b'chinas eretz. Then it becomes the level of eretz, it's mamshich. Because it has to hide the giluyim first in Malchus before it can come down to eretz. After it hides from the Yam, it becomes a moker to eretz. As we say, tache oretz goimer, teitze oretz goimer. That's oretz. The word should sprout, the word should, teitze oretz should produce. The land produces from the Hamshocha, from Malchus that comes down and becomes a moker of Biyah. So further in the Maimer he explains, the inyan vayomer lo Yehonasan uki inyan hafach yom la yabosho shahoyo b'kriyas yamsuf. So the question becomes, if this is the regular process of the way it works between Malchus and Malchus the Atzilus and Malchus the Biyah that becomes a Shodesh. So what did exactly Yehonasan, how do we understand, what exactly did Yehonasan give to David? If that's the regular process, but that's why he explains when by Yomer lo Yehonasan hu ki inyan hofach yam lo yabosho. That is similar to the idea we talk about Kriyas Yamsuf. We say he turned the Yam into dry land. Shahoya b'Kriyas Yamsuf. That took place in Kriyas Yamsuf. That all of a sudden the Yam, which was hidden, opened up and it became visible. That means to split the yam. Hainu. So what this means? The noise of laham shochas samalchus kimoishev hi be'atzilus, that in addition to extending malchus as it is in atzilus, which is nosan the hey achroino, to give that level of a hey from malchus to come down to bia, which is all the time. But here there was a hafach yamle with a kriyas yamsuf by yomer lo yehonuson. Shenimshecha b'chinas hamalchus k'moishi moker libya David, that what it extended, that in addition to malchus being extended to malchus as it's a moker David, ha'yogam ha'inyan da'afichas yam le'abosha. In addition, there was also the turning around, the yam turned to dry land. Shenifka ha'helem yam, that obscurity, the yam, that usually the malchus of Atzilus, the yam, blocks on all the oides, v'nizgalu ha'oides da'asviris da'atzilus shebemalchus, and the lights of the sviris of Atzilus that come down to malchus, but usually the yam blocks on them. It was revealed to Moshe batzmusam as they are in their essence. So the oides that are in malchus became revealed. Malchus didn't block on them anymore. That was the addition of Yomer Lo Yehonoson. That is what Yehonoson gave. What happens after Malchus of David, the Shadish of Biyah, gets that additional, the Hofach Yom Le'abosha, the Hamshocha from Yehonoson, that gives David the power to be Mamshich in the furthest level. As we see, that he tells him weiter in the story that he told him Vishilashto, talking about the idea Shilashto, the three represents the level of Segol. Segol has three nukudas, three dots. So Mamshir Ba'amaimer, the La'achre David Kibel Maimer V'divrei Yonos. After David received the saying and the words of Yehonoson, which means Hainu Shenimshechu Boy Atzmi Yusoides Datzilus, that in David extended the essence of the light of Atzilus because Malchus was split and the Eres still came down. Oz Omar Loi. So then he says to him, Vishilashto Teired Me'oid. Vishilashto, you should become a three, sholish, Vishilashto. What does it mean, Shilashto? Who sheti ose bechina segel, the level become the level of segel sheyesh b'gimel nekudis, is called, has three nekudis, sheremes al avodas habirurim. The Rebbe brings down from the Maimer over here that the level of segel, the three, that represents, besides the three in Yonim to look up at, but the Ashloisha Dvorim Ha'olam, the Avodah, the three Kavim, that's to bring down in the into the world, into Avodas Habirurim. But generally, as it's explained in the Maimer over there, Segel is references the work of working with the world, with the worlds to sort it out. That is the descent of Malchus below to sort out the sorting out. That's the Vishilashta. So you go down and then you also become a Segel, a Shalashta, which means the word Zgula. Zgula means a chosen people. You become a special, is also Segel. So Vishilashta means go down, do Avodas Habirurim. And then you become a Vishilashta, you become a Segel. China Segolta. You become the level of Segolta. Shegam B'Segolta Yesh Gimel Nekudas. Also in Segolto, there is this three dots, which is Bechinas Sgula. You become a chosen, a special. I'm not sure exactly. I got to look up what does it mean. Besegolta yesh gimel nekudas, because se goil. I'm not sure if he's talking about three in the word segol, or he just means segol, the three dots that are in the segol, like he said before. But nevertheless, there is the shalashto that you go down avedis habirurim, which is segel, and you also become vishilashto. You become the level of segula. Become the level of segula. The it's a different name for the different the kudus. So there is a segul and there is a segulto, and the segulto also has these three nekudas. It's the same, similar to this segul's nekudas. But anyways, over there, segulto is bechinas segula. Segula means a chosen, a special. You should be a segula, a chosen, a special people from all the nation. So what does it mean? Through sorting out, that you sort out all the nations, you become a segel. You do the avodah of segel, avodas habirurim, that brings you to segolta, that you become a segula, a chosen, a special to the Ebershter. And that means vishilashto, do avodas habirurim, and you will become shilashto. You become a segel. Now the Rebbe says, so what's really saying over here? We're saying when you lower yourself down to birurim, you become special. Seemingly, it's the same idea, like he says to him in the beginning, "V'nifkadeto ki poked meshavecha," that through the level of ye poked meshavecha, through the level of bittul, you become nifkadeto, you come higher, you go to higher levels. It's a similar idea. So say that Zesha Omar Yehonusom LeDavid, Vishilashto Tered Me'oid, that he tells him, Vishilashto Tered Me'oid, that you will descend and you will go down to the Avedis HaBirurim. Shalidei HaYerida Lebechinas Segel Levarer Berurim, that when you descend to the avoid of segel to sort out the different birurim, then he will be elevated to the level of segolta and segula. So it seems that seems that it's really one idea. What I told him in the beginning. That you will be remembered when your seat is lacking. That through the fact that your seat will be lacking, it'll descend and block. Even if kadeto, that's how you're going to be remembered. So this is a similar idea, that through vishilashto, when you go down Teiret Ma'oid, you come to the level of Skula. So why is he repeating the same thing a second time? Elo, Shebetchila Amar Lo Ha'inyan B'chlolos. Tchila tells him the idea generally, Vayomer v'nifkateto ki poket mishavecha. V'achar kach hoisi b'zeh protim. Then he adds detail. Heim b'negeya la yirida, both to the extent of how low you will go. V'shilashto tered ma'id gomer, not just pocket mishavecha, but you will descend very much. You should sit by the Evan Ha'ozel. Evan Ha'ozel represents also the stone that is thrown, people throw there. That's a recognizable place, but it is a lower place. You're going down to far away. Hayirida Ba'ilum Ha'asiyah. That represents the sense. That's a detail. So it's not just you pocket Meshavech, but he tells him Vishilash Totedet Ma'id and go by the Evan Ha'ozel, go down all the ways the Yerida in Ha'asiyah. There's also more details over here as far as the elevation goes. That's al Yideiha Lirida Vishilashto. That through this descent, it'll be Vishilashto. Sheyis Ale Lebechinas Segolto Sgulta, that you will be elevated to the level of Segolto Sgula in the highest level. So, what the Maimer explains, it brings down the two inyonim in Yehonosan. Either it's Yud Kevov Nosan, gave, or the Ma'ir that he brings down, who says that Nosan is also Yud Kevov K. So what did Yehonosan give to David? Because David already is also Malchus, but there's the two level of Malchus, the level of Yam and the level of Eretz, which Nosan, the Yud Kevov Nosan, that's the level of Malchus. Now, normally, Malchus blocks all the others that come, and then it goes to David. When the Nosan gives him, he gives it to him in a way that all the others of Atzilus that Malchus have, all of a sudden comes down to David. That gives David the koyach. So as he tells later on, Vishilash Totedet Ma'id Yerata Etzel Ha'ozel, to go down into the avodah of Segol, the avodah of Birurim, and then through the avodah of Birurim, this is the detail of where he descends into the world, and through that, later on, he gets elevated to the level of Segolta, to the level of Skula, which is the more specific than the general idea of Nivkadeto. Okay, let's leave it over here, and we'll be mamshik tomorrow. Be'ezras Hashem.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.